Good day. Yeah, good day, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you're actually watching this video. So, yeah, welcome to today's tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'll be showing you, I'll be taking you around the whole Pixel Lab. So, today's introduction to Pixel Lab. I expect you're going to be happy, right? So, it's about time we go into practicals, but first, you must know how the tool works. All right, so for first of all, I'll take you around Pixel Lab. You need to know how Pixel Lab works. All right, so now below, I won't waste your time. Let's move very fast. This place, all this down here like this of this Pixel Lab, there are like templates. You understand, random templates. So I'll start from here. These first three circles together, right, is where you can see my project and other set templates. You see what they call my projects and other templates. These my projects are project that you've done, project that you've actually done, and that you saved them. Are we together? You can see them, projects that I've done and I've actually saved them. So are we together? So that is it. So that's why you can see my project. The next one beside it is A. This A here comprised of a lot of things. But first of all, before we even go into this A, let me tap this like this. Now you see this A, right? You can see we have text and this is written in I think Japanese, or I can't remember the country, the language, but it is called quotes. Are we together? So here is text. This plus is text if you want to write a text, and this is for quotes. So let's go first. Now when you click on this text here, as if you want to write a text, it's going to bring up this. All right, when you bring it up at the top here, what you do is you're going to see style. You're going to see style. Now this style comprises of the style of the text, how the text, maybe the text you want to use. You can actually save yours. You can actually have your own type of. So these are different type of styles of text, different style of text. Do you understand? Different style. Now we have what we call style. This one is edit. If you want to erase the stuff there and put the name there, you can put Dave. Can we see? Good. Let me delete this. So this first one is for edit. This second one is what we call delete. So when you delete, it's off it. Do you see? Delete. If you want to go back again, like you want to get what you delete, now this is where you go to. Yeah. Do you see it? That's what we call undo. So when you click on it, it's going to come back. Are we together? I'm using idea to actually touch that top now. So the next thing we'll move on is copy. This is copy. This is to front if you want to send your text to the front. If you want to send them to the back, this is position. If you want to move them either to the left, you can increase the speed, or to the right, or to the up, or to the down part. Are we together? This is relative position. If you want to put them at the center or at the left hand side, right hand side, at the top, below, center, middle, anyone you want to do. So that's relative position. This one is text size. You want to increase the size of the text? Yeah. You want to reduce the size of the text? No problem. That's for the size. This is for padding. Padding means if there are extra edges of the text and you are here to see those extra edges, you can give it space so that you get to see those extra edges. That's padding. The next one is color. We all know what color is. So you can select color, and if you take it up a bit like this, you can see you can actually give each of them different colors. You know, can give each of them different colors, right? So that's that. The next thing we'll move on to is texture. Texture is like you adding images to that text, to the text you're adding images. So let's test run. We don't have much time. Okay. Let's just see this one as an example. So DC, are you seeing it? So using images. The next thing is what? Opacity. You want to reduce the visibility of the text. That's opacity. Next one is rotate. You want to turn it upside down. You want to swing it anyhow you like. That's that. This next one is sorry. The next one is mask. Mask. Look at it. You want to show you, maybe you actually want some part of it not to show. You want to use as a style, or I want something like this. Hold on, please. I want something like this. I don't want the full text. I want like this part to show maybe you want to do a particular style. Okay, just like this, and that's that. Can I put some kind of write up beneath it? That is that. So that is for mask. Although we'll still treat that in another topic separate as we move on. The next thing is what fonts, where you get to see different types of typography, different types of fonts. Here we have different types of fonts. You can pick them. For this class, for this tutorial, just message me. I will send you the link on how you will download this. You cannot get this anywhere. You have to buy it. You have to buy it, and it's very, very costly. But I'm going to give every of my students for free. You understand? You've paid for it already. Everything is under the cost, so I'll give it to you for free. You can have access to all this. However, in these fonts, you can see my fonts. This is my font. So I'll also teach you how to install fonts, how to download fonts, and how to install fonts, either from download or from Telegram or from WhatsApp, right? Maybe they send fonts to you. That is that. And here you can access recent, and these two boxes here, this one and these two boxes here are where you can use to install your fonts. Let's move on to the next one. Style. You want to make it bold, you want to make it italic, you want to give it underline, you want to reset it. You click here. That is that. The next one is curve. You want to make your text curve. This is background. You want to give your text a background. Let's give it a background. DC. You want to give your text a background. You want to increase it to the left hand side, increase it to the top, increase it to the bottom, increase it to the left or right, any one of them. You want to make them curve. You want to make them curve. You want to make them curve. You're going to use this down one, radius. So let's move on to the next one. Align. You want to centralize. You want to make it left or right. That is that. The next one is spacing. If you want to space between the letters, you want space between the letters. This one is for word. If you want space between the words, that's that. This is that's okay. We've talked about it. Next one is line spacing. Maybe there's a write up at the top and below also. You want to actually give a space, you can just use the DC. So that's under what line spacing. The next thing move to is stroke. You want to add extra color to the edges. You can add extra color to the edges. Are we together? You want to add extra color, you can increase it. Are we together? Now the next one is what? Shadow. You want to give it a shadow behind it. This is it. Are we together? So the next one is inner shadow. You want to give it an inner shadow. You can use this. You want to give an inner shadow. That is that. The next one is emboss. Emboss. If you want it to be thick, you want it to look like some kind of character, use emboss. You see, it has some features under it. The next one is perspective. You want to adjust your to a particular style. This is what you do. This is where you go to perspective, right? Perspective. The next one is 3D stereo. You want to rotate in 3D form. That is that. The next one is 3D text. You want the text to look like a 3D text. It has a lot of features under it. That's where you go to. This is 3D shadow. Are we together? 3D shadow. So you want to give the 3D shadow. You see below it, you can see that's a 3D shadow. This one is reflection. You want the text to be reflecting beneath it, like something that is standing on it. Can you see now? So that is that. Okay, now we're done with that part of the text. This is quotes in the second one. You can see different types of quotes: motivation, success, friendship, and all that. Okay, so let's move to the next one. The next one is here. So in this third feature, we have stickers, we have import, we have draw, we have shape, we have bezier, we have arrow. Call it bezier, and we have arrow. So this sticker is where you get different kinds of sticker. Are we together? Different kinds of sticker, using some of the designs. That's what for that. This one is to import. If you want to import images, you click on import. If you want to import images, from your gallery. This is it. Are we together now? Let's move. The next one is draw. You want to draw anything, you click on draw. This one is shape. You want to bring in any kind of shape, you click here, you see different types of shapes. That is that. The next one is bezier tool. You want to actually form a shape using line by line by line by line. You see, Ganzo. So you can actually from here give this thing like a color. So now you want to form a shape using a single this thing, we'll teach you that. Now the next one is arrow. I want to bring different kinds of arrow. We have them here. So that is that. So now let me show you some features. When you import a particular image, because we're already moving towards the end of the video, let me assume you import this. Sorry. Don't mind the expression, no. I was singing that day. So now you import this text now, right? When you click on this text, it's going to show you a lot of features. You need to know how these features works, although they are not really that difficult. The first one, when you bring in this, is what we call reselect. If you don't like, you want to reselect. This one is for delete. This one is if you want to crop some parts you don't like. This is if you want to copy, right? It's going to copy it. This is for to bring it to the front, to take it to the back. This is position. We already talked about it. This is relative perspective. This is relative size. You want to increase the size, we call it relative size. This is for color. This is for texture. Remember I said what texture is. You want to bring in image through this form. Let's try. Let's see what we're gonna get. Too bad. So that's that. Opacity, we already talk about opacities. Most of them will talk about them in the text. This one is color filter. If you want to change the filter of the color of the image, anything you want to do. So that's that. The next thing is stroke. You want to add stroke to it, but because you did not remove the background, there is only the around the edges. That's where the stroke is going to come out from. The next one is eraser. You want to clean some parts. The next one is mask. You want to remove some parts. Talk about this. The next one is erase color. You want to erase some parts. Maybe you want to remove white. Or remove white. If you remove the white, you're going to be seeing brown. Let's say you want to remove this brown here. This is so erase color. You just select color. Just click on it and open. Then you click on this picker to select the color you want to remove, and boom, it has removed it. So let's go to the next one. Rotate. You know what rotate is? 3D. You want to flip them. This is 3D shape. You want to make the shape look like 3D. This perspective, we talked about this before, right? Yeah, we talked about this. Shadow, giving it a shadow, inner shadow, emboss. We've talked about all this. So this are what we do in those or important. The same thing applicable to that if you do that for shape too. The same thing happens to shape. Do you understand? So let's move to the next one, which is this fourth one. This fourth one talks about the canvas. Are we together? What I call the canvas. It is canvas. Canvas means the space where you're using to work, the size where you get to select the size of that project you want to do. Now, sorry. Okay, so so in this fourth category, you see what they call color. So you can give your background. Here is where you control your background, where you give your background what you want it to look like. Now here's where you give a background. If you maybe you want to use yellow for the background, you want to use a gradient color, kudos to you. That's that. This one, if you want the background to be transparent, you don't want any color. You don't want any color at all. If you don't want any color, click on this transparent. That's it. Now this one is image size, where you get to select the size. If you're using it for Instagram, you're designing it for Instagram or for Facebook or for YouTube, you want a particular size. This is where you come to select the size. The next one is image. You have already template images or this image is already template that comes with the PIXELLAB, so you can select any one of your choice that you like and use it to run any design. So now that is that. Now this next one is from gallery. Maybe you have a background you want to bring already, you want to bring from gallery. You have a particular background in mind that you want to bring from gallery. Let's check out something. Okay, let me assume I want to design a church flyer now and decide I want to use this as a background, right? So do you see? So you bring this as a background, boom, this is what you got. Are we together? So this one is camera. You want to use somewhere that you snap and do it. That's that. So now, like I said, here is where you select how your background will look like. Here is where you control your background or your canvas. You can flip it, rotate, click on the rotate. You see, this one is vintage. You want to add black. You want to add black to it. Are we together now? This one is noise. If you want it to look like something that is sandy. This is stripes. You want it to have some kind of stripes. That's it. This is brightness. This is contrasts, right? Contrast. This is hue. You want to change how the color will look like. This is saturation. So we've touched all this part. Now let's move to the upper part. I'll start from here. This part here that I touch, if you click on it, is what we call the layer. Yeah, this part that I click is what we call the layer. Now this layer is where you get to see all the things that is on your canvas. You can see this div now. This div, you can see it in the canvas. Abi, don't ask me why you cannot see background in the cover. You cannot see background because background is different. Background is your canvas. Background is your canvas. If you bring any other image, let me assume I bring a particular image now. You will see them in that layer. I bring in this image. Now, let me click on this layer. I get to see. Do you see now? You can see what we brought in. Now, you can as well also drag it to the back. Drag it to the front. This is where you get to lock it so that it will not move. This is where if you don't want it to show, you close it. These eyes. This pen is meant for copy. Most of the features are the same thing we have in the other part. Now, that's layer. This is for grid line. If you want lines that will direct you on how to arrange your elements, this is green. This one's for zooming in and zooming out. This one is undo. I think we've talked about it. Maybe you made a mistake and you delete something. You can click here to get it back. That is that. Now, this one here at the top here is if you want to bring in text. You can bring in text from here also, and you click on this pencil. And you just click on this one and just edit. That's another way of bringing in your text. Also, you can bring in dates from there. You can bring in stickers. You can bring in shape from. You can bring in images from gallery. You could just click on that from gallery. You should just bring it in. This is another way. This second way. Remember, I said the first way is in this place where you import. You click on import, right? And the other one is here when you click on from gallery. This one is draw. If you want to draw, it does take you begin to draw. Are we together? This one is if you want to save your file, you can save as project. When you click, you save as project. When you click save as project, it's going to tell you to enter the project name. After you save the project name, you go and click at this first part here. This is where you save as my project. You will now see where you save it. Now this save as image. Let's assume we are done designing. You can just come here as you click on save as image. Either you want it to be JPEG or PNG. How you want the dimension to be? Is it low, high, medium, very high, ultra? Which of them? After you select it, click on save to gallery. Now let's move to the next one. This one is share. This one will still direct you to where you want to save. So it's still the same thing. Now this one is quotes. We already talked about this. Now this one is where you have some features where you can bring in. This is the top place again. You can use to bring in image from gallery. So those of you that maybe your phone now eventually have issues like my screen is faulty, or how can I now bring in image like this? You don't even have to panic at all. You don't have to panic. You don't have to just click in use image from gallery. It's going to come up and you use image from gallery as your background. Are we together now? You can use them as background for the Canva. Are we together? Why did you know one group Komodo? This is serious. This is where, let me use something like this. Okay, so use image from background full screen. You want to see the full screen, you click there. Use image from camera. Here is export image. You want to export it, same thing as maybe you want to save it, just now grammar be everything. Then contact us, don't need those ones. Tutorials, recover, auto save. Maybe while you're working, the next thing your work just like closed, or maybe it shrink. There's all called shrink. Maybe everything now jam packed together. You just come to recover, auto save. The thing save every of your work. It has a particular time allocated that is saving your work, so you don't have anything to be scared of. You can access any file that is missing. This one is open PLP file. You can from here open PLP files. Yeah, you can open PLP file from this place. PLP. If I click here now, I'm going to see some stuff as if as PLP. This is fruit block here. Is it open only or open and add? I'll just can click open and add. Then it has already come to my screen. Do you see? So now I can actually remove this guy and put in something else. I can remove this and put in something else. So it's just like somebody can send you templates and you can edit it. If somebody is working with PIXELLAB, the person can already have it ready or anything. The person should be sure the person save it as PLP file. Then once they send it to you, you can make one or two corrections from them. From there, and if you click on layer now, do you see? You can see all the necessary things that are there. You see? So let's move on to the next, about and exits. So we have come to the end of introduction to PIXELLAB, right? I believe there's nothing missing out again. Thank you very much. See you in our next practical video. All right. Shall I bombard you guys with a lot of work? No. Let's meet in our next video, right? Let's meet in our next video. Bye.